The pandemic, is it infecting your business? On today's episode.
You are listening to the Champion Hustle Podcast. Play to succeed in business and in life. Featuring Levi Hunsaker and Ryan Black.
Hello and welcome to the Champion Hustle Podcast. This is episode number 40. My name is Ryan Black.
My name is Levi Hunsaker. How you doing today, Ryan?
Doing awesome, Levi. Good to be back with you.
Hey, and welcome back from your trip, your vacation. Your business trip.
Yes, business trip. Very important. It's all semantics, right? No, well, it was a business trip. There was, strategizing went on and planning. And so, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I think you were down there with some strategic partners as well, doing some stuff, right?
Yes, we were. It wasn't just us and our employees or the kids. We had some partners down there as well. So
sweet.
It was good.
I love it.
We've got an exciting announcement to share with you guys.
Oh, yes. This is going to be good. If you're not paying attention, stop whatever you're doing because you want to pay attention to this.
Yes. We've got, this is really cool. It's coming up soon. It's coming up it's May 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So coming up here very soon. At the end of May, we've got the Make Profits Again Summit. Make Profits Again Summit. Now, what is this, Levi? What is this Make Profits Again Summit?
That is a fantastic question. So this Make Profits Again Summit is all designed around helping business owners, given the fact that what has happened the last year to small businesses, really start to make profits again. And what we've got is there's going to be over 30 6, 7, and 8-figure entrepreneurs basically coming and teaching their step-by-step processes of how they've been able to keep things going and really make profits in their business regardless of what is happening in the economy, regardless of what is happening in the world, because when you are committed, consistent, and creative, you can overcome just about any challenge.
Yeah, and I think this is what's really cool about this is, I know, as we well know, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners over the last year have really struggled or, are on the brink of going out of business or have already gone out of business.
Or have already gone out of business. That's the most unfortunate one.
Right. And so, but if you're still, if your business is in a position where you're still kind of hanging on by a thread, or even not, or even if you're flourishing through the pandemic, or if at this point you're not sure where you're at, this is a phenomenal opportunity for you to be able to come and learn from dozens and dozens of, like Levi said, industry professionals, people who are 6, 7, 8-figure income earners, and who flourished, not just survived, but flourished during the last year, to learn from their hands-on experience across 4 days. It's phenomenal. It's going to be an online summit, so you can access it, really from anywhere. Online summit, and basically, all you got to do is come prepared to take a ton of notes and learn from people who are really, the ones you want to follow in their footsteps. And they come from all different industries, all different backgrounds. Great. Just, I'm super stoked. I've learned from some of these people before, other ones I've just heard of, and I'm honored to be able to learn from them at this summit. So we're super excited. Where can they find out more information about, details and how to get registered?
So some really big things before we jump into the how-to, right? We're going to have some amazing keynote speakers going on in here. Sharon Lechter, who helped co-author with Robert Kiyosaki the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book series. Garrett Gunderson, owner of the Wealth Factory. John M. Huntsman Jr. Now, this guy was the governor of Utah. He's a business owner, and he has also been an ambassador and a U.S. ambassador to both Russia and China. And so, they're going to be basically just laying stuff out for us. And over these 4 days, what's going to happen is videos and things are going to be released for this summit. And as part of this, you get access to it for free. for the first 24 hours. So when the videos go live, you've got 24 hours and then they're going away, and there will be opportunities to get access to the recordings and other things through that. But to be able to attend the summit and get information on how to connect and get access to these when they go live, go to championhustle.com//summit, or check out the link in this episode of the podcast, and that'll just take you right to the page that you're supposed to go. So
awesome. So free if you watch it during the time frame, you'll be able to have no cost, just tons of value. And so it's going to be an incredible event.
I'm super stoked to be learning from these people, and we want to invite you to join us in learning from them together.
Yep. Love it. So once again, that's championhustle.com/summit.
Yep.
And there's some more details and like bios and stuff on all the different speakers. And there's just a link there, right? Just click the link, put in a couple bits of information, and then you're registered.
Yep.
It's very simple. And once again, the dates on that is May 19th through 22nd of this year. So awesome. Okay. So, I'm glad that we were able to start off today's discussion with kind of a positive note, right? Of something empowering that we can kind of push and offer to everyone here that's joining us on the show. Stepping back a little bit, obviously, the last year with the pandemic, it's infected a lot of people, but it also infected a lot of businesses and a lot of people's livelihoods. And so we just kind of want to talk about that a little bit and hopefully provide some insight and support for you, regardless of where you may be in that spectrum of where your business ended up at the end of the pandemic. The good thing is there's hope and there are opportunities, regardless of where you're at currently.
So we want to be clear. We're not talking about this from a political standpoint, because honestly, I don't care what's happening in politics, because that's not the world that I control. The world that I control is myself and my business, and that's it. So if you're focused on politics and all these things that are outside of your sphere of influence, they're outside of your control, that's a frustrating path. So instead, just focus on the things that you can control. So we're not going to talk political. We're just going to be talking about, hey, what happened and how can we maybe think about pivoting in the future sooner. I know in our business, when they said, it's going to be a 2-week closure, right? I'm just sitting here, well, I guess I'll just sit here and twiddle my thumbs for 2 weeks. That was legitimately my response to that. And then it just kept going on. It's like, maybe we better look at doing something.
Yeah. So
I don't know if that was you just sitting there thinking, well, 2 weeks. Yeah, we can just kind of hang out for 2 weeks. I could use a break.
Yeah. Yeah. My initial response was kind of similar. I was like, okay, if it's going to be a week or two, we'll just kick back for a week. And it's not going to really impact my business that much. After, I don't know, when we were about a week and a half into it, and then I realized, this is not just 2 weeks.
It's not going away.
This is going to be until further notice, indefinitely. That's when, at least with the stuff that I'm doing, I basically spent a week figuring out what are we going to do. And it was all day, every day for a week, researching, testing out different options, figuring out, okay, what is it? Here's all of the kind of the old way that we've been doing everything. How can we adapt this into this new unknown territory to be able to continue to flourish as a business? And that's basically all I did for a week. It was one of the big components of our business is, as you're a part of it. We meet together as a local investor community. And I had a week's notice. I got a call from the venue where we have hundreds and hundreds of investors that came together on a weekly basis to collaborate, strategize, network, make things happen, put deals together. And they gave us, it was a 7-day notice to we're no longer available. We can't open. We're shut down until further notice. Figure something else out. And so that was when my week of panic, well, it wasn't a week of panic, but the few minutes of uh-oh, but it was quickly, okay, we got to focus on solutions. Let's figure this out. And we were able to come up with solutions that worked. Trial and error over time, but we were able to get we were able to transition into a system that worked in a week, which was a big undertaking for sure.
Yeah. That was I remember that week. That was kind of a crazy week. And if I remember right, they wanted to actually shut us down the night of our last meeting, and you were able to convince them to let us to go ahead and hold that anyway.
Yeah, it's like
so.
So
it was going to be less than an hour's notice.
Yeah, it's like that's not going to work. We are still coming.
We're already here, guys.
Yeah. We are already here. You've tried telling hundreds of people go away. That's not going to work very well. So but I mean, it is what it is. We laugh about it now, but boy, at the time it definitely was. It's a little bit stressful, but hey. But we should count our blessings, right? Because we are not. I mean, we're a year later, and our businesses are still running fine. We're not in the graveyard, right? We're not in that business graveyard that so many businesses have fallen into. I know there's different sources of statistics, and I know that you're a big kind of a statistician. You love numbers and things like that, Levi.
Data is everything, because that tells us what's really happening.
Yeah.
And I mean, in your business, you use data all the time, right? What are your key performance indicators, your KPIs? That really tells you the pulse, the heartbeat of your business. What does your cash flow look like? You know, what are the financial projections, your profit and loss? As a business owner, these are things that we're doing on a pretty regular basis. So, well, let's take a look at numbers surrounding businesses and what's happened over the past year. First thing that happened is, well, everything got shut down, right? Lockdowns, temporary closures. The great news is that they came out with some programs to kind of assist and keep people working.
Right.
The biggest one is the PPP loan assistance programs through SBA. If you don't know how to take advantage of those things, because there's things are still going. I don't know if this last round of funding has dried up yet. But if you need a great resource, reach out to us, and we can actually connect you with our attorney and accountant that really knows his stuff on this.
Yes.
So yeah, what's the second thing, Ryan?
Well, so yeah, I mean, you had the temporary closures that people were able to kind of ride the wave out. But then unfortunately, there's a lot of permanent closures because, I mean, many small businesses, even larger businesses, one of the biggest challenges they run into is the cash flow challenge, right?
Yep. And
they don't have, sometimes people have the impression that, oh, you're a business owner, you must have this, like Scrooge McDuck, you have this room with all this cash, right? This giant swimming pool of money that you're just sitting on. And the reality is most businesses, they run pretty lean, right? They've got their accounts receivables, their accounts payable, and they're not in a position where they're able to, ride out a wave if they continue to have expenses ongoing and they don't have income coming in. Their resources will dry up fairly quickly. And that's what we saw happen with quite a few businesses with just the permanent closures. Some people, they just cut their losses, and, business owners have said, well, I can either drive this into the ground or I can jump ship right now, right? Because they could kind of tell that the ship was sinking. So it's like, well, just for random, giving out some random numbers, let's say maybe their overhead was $50,000 a month to run their business, and they've got, $400,000 available, and they're saying, well, I could run my business into the ground for another 8 months and then be left with nothing, or I could jump ship now and at least have something in a bit of a war chest that I can turn around and invest into a new business or start something else. So some people definitely, they just jump ship, and then other people, they held on tight with, hoping that things would turn around, and unfortunately got to the point where they were completely dried up and went down with it.
That's definitely unfortunate, and ultimately learning how to kind of project and pivot is everything about running a business. So as we're looking at this, let's just talk about some quick stats. And these are from articles from like Fortune magazine, CBS News, this kind of stuff. But in September of last year, Yelp was reporting that nearly 100,000 businesses, small businesses, already closed. So wow. Those are the ones that just didn't even make it. And we're another 6 months beyond that. So what does that look like today? I don't know. I don't have those stats. I'm sure in the future, tons of studies will be done surrounding all this. In December of last year, this King 5 News was showing that through Yelp, that about 800 small businesses were closing, and depending on where you were looking, that could be down around 500 or even as high as 1,500, done by a study from the University of California in Santa Cruz. So that's anywhere from per day, or 800 to 1,500 businesses per day deciding to shut their doors permanently.
Wow.
So that has kind of been the landscape that's been going on in all of this. And so that's unfortunate, but we don't want to focus on just the negatives, because we also don't want to paint a broad picture that that's what's happening to small businesses, because there have been a ton of small businesses that have flourished right now because they were able to pivot. Here's an interesting fact from PNAS.org, the National Academy of Sciences in the U.S. This was done July of last year, showing that nearly 50% of small businesses, or of American workers, are employed by small businesses in the U.S. Now, that actually surprised me. I did not think that number was that high. I figured it was closer to around 30%.
Yeah.
But 50% of employees are employed by small businesses. Now, I just look at it and say, okay, maybe thinking about it, the 80-20 rule, I don't have the numbers on this, but probably 80% of the businesses out there are small businesses. Just looking at it from an 80-20 rule. So, yeah, that means that small businesses really are the lifeblood, and especially in a community, because small businesses are your friends, your neighbors, and all this kind of stuff.
So what you're saying is, we as small business owners, we matter. We're important.
Yeah. Support each other. Even if you don't have a small business right now, support a small business. Choose to buy locally. Choose to buy, if they have a product that you're like, yeah, that's awesome, support them in that.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that I want to touch on was from CBS News in February of this year. So just last month, it was showing that 3 out of 10 small businesses anticipate closing their doors in 2021.
Wow.
So if you look at that can be kind of a daunting number, but also don't get too stressed, because the census data, the U.S. Census data, is showing that in the last year, there's a 24% increase in small business applications. So people aren't letting what's going on stop them from moving forward into building something incredible, to building their dream.
Yeah, one door closes, another door opens.
Right. So we don't want to paint a picture of negativity, and really this is the only time we're really going to focus on, these are some of the negative things that have happened. Let's talk about how we can pivot and shift and adapt and overcome all of these, unexpected events. That's really what we want to focus on today.
And that really, really begins and ends with mindset, right? It's the mindset of, okay, there's a situation, worldwide event that has had this impact on the business landscape, on the economy. So what are you going to be? You're going to be a victim, or are you going to be a champion? And that, when it first started for us, I know we were like, oh, well, we'll just kind of kick back for a week or two and see what happens. But then once it became clear, once it became clear that, okay, this isn't going away, the victimization option wasn't an option for us. We said, we're gonna beat this. Doesn't matter what it takes. We're gonna beat this, and we're gonna continue to have a great year because we're going to adapt, right? And there were so many companies that did that as well. Hopefully yours, it was one, our awesome listener. Hopefully yours was one as well that adapted. With that kind of transformation and moving forward with business changes, layoffs were definitely a part of that. Right sizing, downsizing, because people, businesses couldn't support. Hopefully a lot of those businesses will be able to scale back up again in the future, but they might not. But they're definitely, when you look at, a lot of the industries that adapted and that have continued, even if they've had some stumbles, they've continued to thrive and grow. The food service is a big one. Food service industry, where many places in the U.S., or maybe all, I'm not sure, prohibited dining in restaurants. You couldn't go and eat in a restaurant, and so because of that, they had to innovate, right?
So this is one of my favorite things, actually. As this was all happening, like my wife and I were talking about this and just kind of noticing what was happening and the trends and the shifts. They said, "Oh, well, we can't invite our customers inside to eat. Well, guess what? We're going to beef up our online ordering systems." And so how many restaurants actually now have easy ways to order online? Yeah. We're going to start doing things like delivery services. So like things like DoorDash and Uber Eats and this kind of stuff blew up in the last year.
Exploded. Yeah.
I know we used them a lot.
Well, and once again, you look at, current, because online ordering already existed, but I agree. I think that a lot of companies didn't offer it because they frankly didn't care. They're like, we don't need to offer it, but it pushed them over the edge to implement those types of services, as well as delivery. But one of the things that I thought was interesting to watch as different companies and industries implemented curbside service, which pre-pandemic, I don't really think, it feels like a lifetime ago, I don't remember companies really offering.
There were a few, but it was pretty minimal.
Curbside service, right? Uh-huh. And now that's kind of just become a staple, right? It's like you can pull up and text a thing on your phone, and then they bring out the stuff that you ordered. Like, I know that you
drive away.
I know that we used that for months. We used that for almost the entire year last year for our groceries. Because once I learned how to do it, I was like, oh man, this is so much easier.
Why am I spending time shopping?
Exactly. Why am I spending an hour walking through walking through the grocery store trying to find everything? We just order it on an app, and then we get there, and I push a button, and they bring it out, and I'm gone. This is awesome.
We didn't even do that. Like, our grocery store actually offers delivery.
Oh,
so
okay.
We don't even go pick it up. They bring it to us and just, ring the doorbell and run away.
Oh, cool.
It's the new form of doorbell ditching these days.
Give me the password to your login on that, and I'll just modify the address to my address, and then I'll just, get some free groceries. That'd be cool. So yeah, and it's, we talk about how food service has implemented some of these changes, but it's not just them. Retail in general, right? There's certain retail outlets that doesn't work as well, I guess, but they're definitely, the online ordering, kind of improving some of the terms that you see. One that comes to mind is the airline industry, right? So you look back historically as far as change fees and cancellation fees and things like that. The airlines pretty much across the board changed their policies as far as being able to do cancellations and changes to the tickets that you purchase without incurring additional penalties, which it didn't used to be that way.
No, it didn't.
So that was nice because we like to travel.
Yeah. Other retail space, online ordering, a lot of, Amazon is the easiest one.
Right.
Like the amount of wealth that Amazon was able to generate during that time has been insane, like billions with a B.
Yeah.
So Walmart.com, like, which interestingly enough, Walmart.com is kind of going an Amazon direction to allow people to set up their own little stores within that.
Oh,
just kind of a random thought. Like if you're like, what's one of the big leaders in terms of stores and just retail grocery and just in front of the everyday consumer all the time? I mean, Amazon is, just because that's like a household name.
Right.
So is Walmart. Can you go anywhere without seeing a Walmart these days?
No.
So maybe you can think about a Walmart business if you're looking for something online and easy to start up. Or I don't know if I'd say easy, simple. Let's say simple.
Simpler to start up. One thing that's interesting to consider is, there's certain changes that have been implemented that in due time will be eliminated or reversed, right? It'll go back to how it was. But there's definitely going to be, some aspects, particularly those as they relate to consumer behaviors, that I think will be permanently altered. That because people have realized, like me, it's like, oh man, it's so much easier to buy my groceries this way than actually walking through the store. So I don't know. What do you think, Levi? How big of an impact, or what are some of those changes that we're going to see permanently upon consumer buying behaviors as a result of the pandemic?
Well, it's not just consumer buying behaviors, but business behaviors as well, right? A lot of people keep saying, oh, I can't wait till this goes back to normal. Well, what is normal?
Right.
Is there anything really normal? The reality is, if a business has invested time, money, energy, effort, expense, all this kind of stuff into making adjustments, what's the reality that goes back to quote unquote normal?
Yeah, and normal is a term based off what when we say that, we really mean historically how things have been. Which it could be that's the best, or it could not be. Once again, we're not going to enter into that discussion. But
so the reality is, normal is what businesses are doing today and what they're going to continue doing today or tomorrow. Right. So that's really what's transformed. Consumer behavior has also transformed in that same way. They have a different level of expectations based on a service that they achieved. One of my mentors, and you're one of your mentors, one of our mentors, he always says that a luxury once enjoyed becomes a necessity. So that comes from Bob Snyder.
Yeah, indeed. Yes.
So that's the thing, is the luxury of having somebody do the shopping, pick up the groceries, deal with the lines, do all of that stuff, and then bring them to our house, and I didn't have to go anywhere, and I could get some other projects and other stuff done. Like that, for the minimal amount that it cost me to do that versus what I could be creating or generating in my business with my time, it's like a no-brainer trade-off for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how things have been catapulted forward or backwards or sideways as a result of all of this once the dust settles. Definitely one of those big changes, I would say, is people being able to work from home. I know that I've had the opportunity to. I mean, I've had office space before where I've gone so that I could have kind of a separation of family and work. But I've found over the years that I just prefer to just run my home office. I mean, this is my home office. I work in here. I meet with clients and it's great. But a lot of people haven't ever had the opportunity to work from home. And so, I know that
oh, it's nice
that you've been running your business for a while as well. You've also got a great day job as well. How is that, Levi, for you, being able to kind of adapt and do that telecommuting?
Oh man, the telecommuting, the company I work for, they did a survey, and they just wanted to kind of gauge how this was going. And, they were just asking questions. How do you feel like your interaction with people has been? Is it better, worse, about the same? How do you feel like your productivity's been? Better, worse, about the same, right? Going through all these questions, trying to figure out, well, where do we go with this, like on a more permanent basis? And this work from home, depending on what your industry is, like I work as a software engineer, so a lot of the stuff that I work on, I don't have to be anywhere specifically.
Right.
And so that opened up some opportunities to work from home, even work remotely while I was doing, it makes it easier if like an emergency comes up to be able to just jump in really quick, help somebody out, and leave. Now, that can be a good thing and a bad thing, right?
Double-edged sword.
Yeah. So it's nice to have the flexibility to be like, okay, this came up, I got to take my car to the shop, because that happened a couple times.
Yeah.
And I was able to go do that, get back to work. And it's like very minimal impact because I'm not 30 minutes away from my house. I'm at my house.
Right.
Just pop over, pop back, and get back to work. And so having the time flexibility has been huge. So that is a major perk that a lot of people are seeing is, okay, yeah, there's time flexibility. You're saving time. You're not commuting into work. You're not getting stuck in traffic. So the real question I want to ask is, you've gotten all this time back. Well, what have you done with it? How have you used that time that you effectively, we all have the same amount of time in a day, but we got gifted some extra time through all of this.
Yeah.
Did you burn that through binge watching your favorite series in Netflix, or did you level up your mindset and your skill set and your tool set, learning new things?
Yeah. Yeah, and I've seen people go on both sides of the aisle. People who totally took advantage of those opportunities, and now they're just cruising. They're doing, and then other people who, you can kind of see the regret on their faces. It's like, well, how's it gone for you the last year? Well, I caught up on all 10 seasons of, whatever TV show. Okay, what else? Like, what else did you do? Did you do something productive? I gained 15 pounds because I sat in front, so yeah, we definitely see both sides of that. One thing that, I think, moving forward, obviously this creates new opportunities. Certain businesses are definitely, they're going to love the lower overhead of not having to have a big office space and all that. And so they'll continue to have more of a virtual workforce or a telecommuting, offsite workforce. Other businesses will, it won't work. They'll have to have people on site still. But with that transition, there's opportunities for us, right? For all of us to see, just to ask those questions, to do a SWOT analysis, right? And say, okay, here's a pre-pandemic SWOT analysis and a post-pandemic SWOT analysis. What is, kind of, what opportunities are there in expanding online? And I know that Levi, you and I, we've got some cool things that we're working on right now in our businesses to kind of stretch and take things to the next level with some online tools and resources. But just comparing, and if you're like SWOT analysis, what's that? Go see episode 19. 19, where we deep dive into SWOT analysis and the power that has for your business.
Yeah. So as you're looking at this, you mentioned transitioning more online. Online is just, it's an enhancement. It's a lever to increase the amount of leverage in your business. Man, I can't even say that word, leverage. As you're looking at increasing that leverage in your business, online can take you just about anywhere. This I don't know if you caught this, Ryan. We had a training on some of the software we use in for a real estate business to find additional properties. So they have been working AI engines, like basically taking and building a predictive engine model to figure out, hey, is a house going to sell retail in the next 90 days? How likely is it to sell it to a wholesaler, or how likely is it to sell to or go into foreclosure?
Okay.
So there's a lot of that, but it gets better. So this is the part I don't know if you caught, and I was super excited when I heard this in the training. They have also been able to add the ability to take that data and go find those people in a lot of the social media platforms. So that you can basically build a custom audience and run advertising to them so that you don't have to go knocking doors, right? Being able to transition into an online space like this to find additional properties is going to be a game changer. And yeah, sometimes that takes money. Sometimes that money is very minimal. And this system, like I didn't even know they were adding that. They just announced it, and I was super stoked.
Yeah, that is
and
awesome.
I can tell by the look on your face that you're surprised too.
Yeah, I missed that part, apparently. That is so cool. That's awesome. Well, guys.
Surprise.
Yeah. What we want to throw out there, once more, just a reminder to you, the Make Profits Again Summit is going to be, we're super stoked. It's going to be a game changer for our businesses, and know that it can be for yours as well. Just head over to championhustle.com/summit, or just check out the notes on this video or on the show notes, and you can click that to find out a little more information about all the awesome trainers that are going to be there. Remember, it's no cost to you, absolutely free, and get your business supercharged to recover from that, starting to make profits again. And it's May 19th through 22nd.
Yeah, so make sure you get into that. One more time, championhustle.com/summit. And next week, we're going to talk about how opposition is a good thing for your business.
Yes. We'll see you then, guys. Have a great week.
Have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Champion Hustle podcast. For more great content and to join our online community, visit us at championhustle.com.